She caught a bullet in the back of her right leg. She immediately jumped on top of one of her boys, the 15-year-old. She jumped on top to cover him on the ground as she pushed him in between two cars and the curb. Her other three boys scattered and ran in opposite directions, so she lost three of her boys, didn't know where they were. She laid there. She said it was about 5 minutes before cops even got to her and pulled her from the area where she was because the shots were coming so fast, not even realizing she was really shot at the time.
She was shielding her son for 5 minutes?
For 5 minutes before anybody got to her and was able to pull her away from the area.
What did she tell you about that moment where she was covering her child and the shots were being fired?
All she could think about was her other three boys. Where are they at?
How are the other three boys now?
There are two of them are still held up in the Hyatt Towers because of the current situation and what's still going on. They can't get them out of there right now, so we're still waiting to be able to get them released out of there. One was taken to someone's apartment where he was safe and was able to call us, and we've picked him up already. And we're still waiting to get the other two currently. And the other one was at the hospital with us, and we just took him home. So
to recap, she just took her children here. She was just taking part in the protest and got hit by gunfire.
Correct.
Can you tell me about, how old was the son who was being shielded? 15, you
15.
said? Tell me about what he said. What did he tell you about that moment, what happened, and how he's feeling now?
He was just scared. He didn't say much. When we walked into the hospital, he just grabbed our necks and hugged us. There wasn't much he could say. He was just scared. He's covered in his mom's blood, and he's standing there and he's scared.
And you told us earlier her thoughts were with the police officers. Can you kind of explain that again?
She's not so much as worried about the gunshot wound that she has in her leg. She was more worried about, we're watching the news in the hospital room, and all she can do is say, Lord, be with those families of those police officers. And that's what she kept repeating, is I feel for them police officers. The cop that's standing outside of our door, her hospital door, when he opened the door and she seen him, all she could say is, thank you. We appreciate all that you guys do for us, and I'm sorry for your loss.
Teresa, what's your thought now after all of this, after talking to your sister and standing here talking to us? What goes through your mind?
I hope everyone kind of gets a lesson from, not to say I don't understand rallies and I don't understand everyone wanting to go and be a part of, but you really have to take caution when you decide to step out of your house and go when there's a big message that's being given. And it's unfortunate that we want to be a part of these rallies and the different things to kind of get our message across, but you also have to be, my thing to my sister was fussing at her as soon as I walked in the room. You know better. This is a moment where people are upset. There have been killings, and they're upset with the police because of the killings. So the first thing you ought to think is they're going to target somebody at these rallies. So
tell me about that moment when you did walk into her room and you realized that she was going to survive, that she was shot in the leg, and that her moment in that interaction.
I was relieved. We walked in and it wasn't more than that leg that I was able, that's my youngest sister. My mom has 4 girls, there's 4 of us, so that's our youngest sister, and the only thing we can do is feel relief when we walk in and see it was just her leg.
Tell me about her leg. She was shot in the leg. Do you know anything more about what she's suffering from right now?
Right now we know she's in surgery. We know it's going to be 5 hours before she's out of surgery. From what the doctor says, the bullet went in through the back. We don't know if it exited out the front or not. There's
It shattered the tibia, so the bone, one of the pieces of the bone came out or punctured the front part of her leg.
So, yeah.
So the bullet, they're thinking, is still lodged in there.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that your sister sprung on top of her child, that she is thinking about the families of police officers, and you even said the officer that was standing outside of her door watching. Tell us a little bit about her character, what that says about her.
It's who we all are. I mean, all of our characters are pretty much very caring, loving people. I mean, she's not at that protest just because they're saying an African American got shot by a white officer. She's there because of she's a powerful person. She's a God-fearing female who just wanted her kids to experience this is what happens when this happens. This is the reaction of, and she wanted them to experience a part of history in a sense.